What's up, everybody? What a roll. That was... I don't know if you're trying for like a drum roll or something.
A little bit.
A little swing action. Right to you. Week 5 of college football. Week 4 is in the books. It was a wild one, a beatdown or so last week. I mean, it was still another great week of college football. We had a lot of rank versus ranks. After that week before, where it was dead in the water, that week 3 just depression. How we feeling this week, man?
Dude, it was not a bad week for us terms of our picks, but I think overall it was a good college football weekend. USC, or I'm sorry, not USC. I'm thinking of the game this weekend, but Colorado and Oregon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Colorado finally got what they deserved.
Absolutely.
All those antics, all that nonsense. Oregon, they're not about the clicks. They're about substance. And they got it done. Dan Lanning, what a performance. Bo Nix, you knew it was coming. And now USC comes into Boulder, Colorado, and I expect the exact same thing. But that was a nice win for us. We were both on Oregon, minus 21. I want to get into UCLA and Utah next here because we were on UCLA 5.5. I was so confident about that pick. And
should have hit that back door.
We not only should we have hit the back door, but UCLA should have won that game. They red zone turnovers, the pick six.
Pick six sold the game.
They just did not want to win that game. They did everything in their power to lose that game, but the opportunity was there for them to actually win it, which was the crazy part.
I don't know what to say. You know, it was a game where I was like, Utah has been they're not as well as they've been the past 2 years, obviously with Cam Rising not being there and they're riding the backup, but Utah just hasn't played. They've played well enough to win their recent games. And that was another time. This was a game where they just were able to survive their opponent, and their opponent choked themselves.
Yeah. So that was an unfortunate loss for both of us. We were both on the Bruins there.
Sad.
Alabama, -7.
That was scaring me for a second, dude.
I was never worried about that game because Alabama's defense came to play. And Jackson Dart looked lost out there. The Alabama offense is concerning. And that was maybe the scary part about that game. I was like, where are the points going to come? But Alabama got it done. That defense held strong. Helps when Quinshon Judkins isn't out there, too.
Love that guy.
Who is a beast. He'll be back this week.
Huge.
Or at least we hope he'll be back this week for the Rebels. But very, very content with that Bama pick. I want to get into Clemson, Florida State, though. Because that was a
game.
That was a game that I had won. That was a great pick by me. And they miss a chip shot. They called the guy from like the laundromat, whatever.
You drove back from New York.
Yeah, he's literally, probably folding his underwear, getting his socks all nice and tidy. And what do you know? Dabo calls. I need you to come kick field goals for me Saturday. And he just blows it. 29-yard chip shot, way left. I couldn't believe what I saw. And then they get the ball back in regulation, and they don't do anything about it. Like they literally just let the clock run out. Like, you have timeouts, use them. And then of course, Florida State gets the touchdown, and then 3rd and 4th down. It's 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. Yeah, let's just throw back. Let's throw the ball behind the receiver. Let's just not even run the football. Just horrible coaching by Clemson. And you snuck away with that one.
I did sneak away with that one.
That was ridiculous because Clemson was dominating that entire game.
I thought it was about to be another Missouri-Kansas State right there for me.
That one hurts because Florida State got outplayed. If you were watching that game, Clemson completely controlled that game. They had the fumble 6 that was costly, and then the missed chip shot field goal, and then not capitalizing on a short field potentially to set yourself up for what would have been a game-winning field goal.
Cade Klubnik is still not looking like what we expected him to be. He's progressing a little bit, but there's still not, there seemed like there was a little more juice to him last year. I don't know if it was the team basis or...
It just feels like with the new OC, they're still trying to work out some kinks. They're still trying to get a feel down for what they want to do on every single play. And so when you're seeing it, it's not a cohesive offense right now. It's very scrappy. It's occasional. It's not consistent. And unfortunately, when you have a young quarterback like Cade Klubnik, consistency is key, because you want your quarterback to feel comfortable, having him know exactly what he's going to do next. There's a lot of freedom in their offense currently, and I just don't think Cade's had the experience necessary to command that kind of freedom. Like, he has way too much autonomy right now, and you saw that on the overtime 3rd and 1. It was an RPO where if he hands it off to Shipley, it's an easy first down. But what does he do? Pulls it back out, whips it to the sideline for a screen, and it goes nowhere. And then the next play, it's tipped at the line of scrimmage. So there's way too much autonomy right now given to Cade Klubnik, when I just don't think he's earned it, or he's just not used to it yet with, Garrett Riley, the new OC. So we'll see how Clemson progresses as the season goes on, but it's not Florida State's conference to lose. That's clear as day. It's unfortunate because we thought Clemson would be back. They are not. But you want to know who is back? The Bucks, baby. The Bucks roll into South Bend and get it done on the last play of the game. Unreal job by Kyle McCord orchestrating that last drive.
I don't give him enough credit, but I also will not give him credit because Notre Dame sold.
How'd they sell? Because they had 10 guys on the field?
10 guys on the field. You're just breaking down in that last drive where they're just walking down the field like nobody's business. That was trash. To me, that was trash on both. For what those two teams should be playing at, it was not that good of a game.
I thought it was a great game.
I disagree.
It was back and forth, defensive battle. It was a game where the other team had to outlast the other team. And unfortunately for you, your Irish didn't win. Now, because it was Ohio State -3, we pushed, so we didn't, no one ended up winning that pick because I was on the Bucks here on the Irish. But look, man, I'm just happy the Bucks won. I was very thrilled.
Disgusting as a Spartan fan that you're a Bucks man right now.
I hate Notre Dame, and I'm very happy that the Bucks won, and the Bucks are back. Expect Cal McCord and this team to make the college football playoff now. They are going this direction.
Yikes.
They are ascending.
That is, I think they're gonna walk back home.
Okay. Well, let's see what those winged helmets play. A real team. Notre Dame's a real team. Mr. Sam Hartman, Heisman contender. That's a real team on the road. Yeah. Yeah. How about that?
I love how you're like acting like a diehard Buckeyes fan right now because you can't even defend your home turf because they're in shambles as a existing franchise or whatever you want to call it.
I'm done with Michigan State.
And that's revoke his alumni-ship or whatever you want to call it. That's sad, man.
I'm done. They have to prove that they're worth a damn. And right now they're not. Noah Kim
I mean, you're not wrong.
Throw the football. He can't.
And they got smacked by Maryland, but what do we expect? Maryland's good,
the sad
man.
thing is they had every opportunity to win that game too. Michigan State did. And they just kept tripping over themselves. And it's the same story. Turnovers, mistakes, low IQ plays. I'm done. It's frustrating. More effort was there this week. There's a little bit more pride after getting their brakes blown off against Washington, but it still is the same story. This team is not disciplined. They're not well coached, and they don't make smart plays. So I'm done with the Spartans right now, but the helmet still remains because at some point they will turn around. And the gruff Sparty, who has yet to make an appearance this season.
On the game day.
He will be there.
On the game show.
Overall, though, I was 2-2-1. Overall, I'm 2-2-1 on the week. Overall, now I'm 5-13-1. That's bad, guys. I'm sorry. That's just bad, but we're going to get it right. It starts this week. I keep saying it, but the past 2 weeks I've been flat, so now I need to go up. Justin on the week was 3-1-1, and now you are 10-8-1 overall in college. Nicely done.
There we go, baby.
But we got 4 games for you this week. Let's kick it off, man.
Top into week 5 as we put week 4 behind us with a little SEC battle. The Gators head to Kentucky. Kentucky favored by 1.5. This is pretty much a pick 'em. I'm leaning a little more one way than the other. After what I've seen, we haven't talked at all, and I haven't seen much about Kentucky this year so far. They always seem to have an okay offense. The defense has been a little more with like the big names. Obviously, this is a post Will Levis era, as you could say. Although I don't think he did as much as people thought for them in his in his time there, because he was only there 2 years, maybe 1.
Yeah, 2 years.
So I don't
2
know.
or 3.
The Gators since game 1 have really just kept rising. You know, they're rising to the occasion. They're playing better. Graham Mertz has looked better. Completion percentage. Trevor Etienne in the backfield has looked great. Obviously, it's different when you are at home at the Swamp. We know how that vibe goes. Yeah. But Kentucky isn't really. It doesn't scream like a home. Like they have a cool field, but like it's not like that environment. It's still gonna be rowdy, but that threat of just like we're going into the swamp, right? You know, or
It's
like
not an
Death
intimidating
Valley.
place.
Exactly, absolutely. An interesting thing though, Kentucky hasn't let anyone hit over 100 yards on the ground yet this season. So
They got a great front seven.
correct.
And when I was, diving into my stats for this one, they are insane against the run. 2.3 yards per carry allowed on the season. That's 7th in the country, dude. Florida wants to run the football. We know that. But this offensive line is kind of weak. And when we saw a good front seven in Utah, it wasn't great, right? It wasn't a dominant front seven, but it was good. It was I'd say a power 5 front seven.
Agreed.
They stopped Florida, and they made Graham Mertz scramble a little bit, made him a little uncomfortable. I think Kentucky can do the exact same thing. The funny thing is, though, it's a game of 2 transfer QBs. On one end, you got Devin Leary from NC State, and the other end, Graham Mertz from Wisconsin. So, do I think this is a game where the QBs have to show up? I do. And unfortunately for Graham Mertz, this game to me feels a lot like that Utah game. Kentucky isn't Utah, but I think going on the road, you're going up against a really good front seven. Running the football is going to be really difficult. It just screams Kentucky here. So I'm going to take the Wildcats minus 1.5. You know I love my Gators, but I just can't get myself to do it this week. I got to be smart here, and I'm going to take Kentucky.
It's interesting because right now Florida has the number 1 pass defense in the SEC, which is kind of shocking after the first few games they've played, but they've only allowed 3.5 yards per carry on the ground. So I don't know. Like you said, it might be a quarterback dominant game, and if that pass defense is showing up for Florida, it could be a tough one for the Kentucky quarterback. It's definitely the quarterback's game.
And these are both defenses are really good against the pass. I think Kentucky's a little bit better, but the competition is a little different too. Well, I like Kentucky's defense more. Which is what I'm trying to say. But obviously, they also haven't played the same caliber of competition that Florida has. I mean, Utah is a top 10 team in the country right now.
That's true.
Tennessee is also a top 15 team, top 20 team.
This is kind of like a big SEC game outside the bubble. You know what I'm saying? Of like Alabama, Georgia, LSU.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like a big game outside the bubble of like who you expect to be in the SEC championship game. But I'm taking the Gators in this one. I think it's going to be a tight one either way, but
all right.
Chop, chop. I don't know if you're stressing or what.
No, I'm really confident about my Kentucky pick. I'm just kind of shocked you took the Gators since you didn't take the Gators opening night. You didn't take the Gators against Tennessee. Now all of a sudden, you're the Gator guy. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see how college football trends.
I mean,
it's upward at the moment.
The way that I've been picking, you're probably going to be right about this. Go Wildcats. Dude for John Wall. Come on.
Gator, baby. All right. Stressful but interesting game 2. The Jayhawks.
That's a big number.
Jayhawks head to Austin to take on the Longhorns. Longhorns favored by 16.5. This is a really interesting matchup. 3:30 p.m. kickoff in Austin. Kansas isn't the same old Kansas that was bad for so long. They had a great year last year. They actually had an undefeated stride for a while before they kind of got deeper into Big 12 play. I forget who knocked them off last year. I don't know if it was K-State or TCU. I think it was TCU who gave them their first loss at home. But this is quite a large number for this game. I think Kansas was a little slightly disrespected in this game. I think they're better than people think. I do think at least 10 would probably be between 10 and 12. Probably would have been a better number. But I don't know what to expect in this game, man. So my X factor of this game, not as a person, but the thing to me that will truly determine this game is who completes the third downs. Third downs are key because what's that stat sitting in the back of my mind?
I don't know, man.
Kansas is number 1 in the nation on third down conversions.
Oh, well, there you go. That's why third downs are key.
That's why. That's what I was thinking about.
If you know football, you know that third downs are a pretty big deal. They're usually pretty indicative of a team's success. So,
Texas defense right now is giving up third down conversions 30% of the time currently this season.
It's really good.
Compared to last season when they allowed under 30% just twice. But right now they're maintaining that ability. So that is huge for them. I don't know where to go with this one.
Well, let me take the wheel here. Kansas last year got blown out. They got blown out in this matchup. I do love the quarterback for Kansas, Jalen Daniels. He's really good.
He was out last year.
He's back this year. He's healthy. The thing about Texas to me, though, is I feel like they're a wagon. I do. I feel like this is a team that's destined for greatness. And if I want to put Jalen Daniels on a similar tier, maybe a Jalen Milroe. And we saw what Texas did to Jalen Milroe in Alabama this year. That's kind of why I bring up that comparison, is because I think both good with their legs. Jalen Daniels is a much better thrower of the football. But Alabama's got a lot more outside of just the QB. And Texas washed them. And that was on the road. Now they're at home, 16.5. I know it's a big number, but if Kansas wants to run the football, they're not going to be able to on Texas' defense. They're just not. And, if they want to throw the football, well, Texas is a pretty good pass defense too. Texas, I feel like, is just going to have their way in this one. They did last year. And, I respect Kansas. I love what Lance Leipold's done. But, look, at the end of the day, I'm just going to go with the team that I think is destined for great things. Now they've made their statement and they've made it known. Give me Texas minus 16.5. I think it's just the easy pick here when you consider the fact that this isn't your average Texas team. This is a legitimate, good, dominant football team that is going to win this game by 3 scores.
And it's not like Kansas has played that big of teams. Yes, they beat Illinois and they beat BYU, which are known names, but they're not like prime teams in their said conference because, BYU is independent, right? They're independent. Illinois, Big Ten. I told you when looking back at this, I had a locked pick in my mind, but then I also had a locked pick in my gut. And I got to go with my locked pick in my gut. So that is horns up.
Okay, good. Good.
I'll tell you, my mind, all these stats I was reading all throughout the day were just like giving me Kansas vibes. But trust your gut when all the things point to it. And I got to go horns on this one.
I think it just makes too much sense. I feel like the numbers...
It'd be more concerning if it was 20 or more.
But
if it was 20 or more, it'd be more concerning.
I like Texas in this one, man. I think they get it done. And Kansas, like I said, I respect them, but come on. This is the Horns season. Texas is doing it this year.
It is. They're doing the thing, man.
Texas is doing the thing.
All right, on to game 3 of 4 today. This one, man. LSU heads to Ole Miss. Tigers favored by 2.5. I'll tell you, man. The Rebels are not very, what do I want to say? They're not in a good spot whenever they play LSU. But I could say the same thing with Alabama. I could say the same thing when they play Georgia. It just seems not to be the thing.
Well, the world is on LSU. All right,
Of course the world's on
73% of
LSU.
the bets on spread are on LSU per the Action Network, but this number hasn't moved. It stayed at 2.5. Really interesting because typically when you got a lot of money or a lot of action on one team, Vegas will try to move that number to balance it out just a little bit, but this number stayed put. What does that tell me? It tells me to go hotty toddy. Quinshon Judkins is back. I thought the defense looked good against Alabama last weekend. I think the offense needs some work, but here's the thing. LSU is a team that's up and down, hot and cold. You know, you get them on that one game against who they play, who they dominate, who they destroy. I'm forgetting.
Ole Miss?
No, they play. It was
Who did LSU beat
was
up?
it South Carolina? I forget who LSU played, but they just destroyed them. It was over before it even
Georgia
started.
Tech. Oh no, my bad.
I got it, dude. Don't even worry about it.
Don't
even worry about it. It was Mississippi State. That's what it was.
I saw you at the bottom of my chart.
Well, then the next week they followed up with a 3-point win over Arkansas.
True.
So you can catch LSU on a rough day, a cold day, and it's a beatable team. Look, dude, I'm telling you right here, right now. You know I don't back the Rebels much, but I think Lane Kiffin had his team prepared last week against Alabama. I thought they looked capable. Jackson Dart, I don't love him, but in this matchup against a weak LSU defense that literally cannot defend the pass, they cannot defend a run. Give me the Rebels here, plus 2.5 at home. The Grove is going to go crazy. It's hotty totty all day long.
This is shocking to me.
Rebels plus 2.5.
Shocking to me. Ole Miss actually has been unstoppable on offense at home, over 121 points at home in the first 2 home games. Now that is against Mercer and Georgia Tech, but they've just been feeling it at home. Jackson Dart looks better each game. He did be a bit in shambles last week against Alabama in Tuscaloosa, but that was kind of the known thought. Even I didn't pick the Rebels in that one. I know I took the Rebels, I'm pretty sure, last year against Bama, and it did not pay off, so I couldn't go back on that for myself. LSU had that tough start against Florida State in that week 1 game, and Florida State has been very up and down as well since that game.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue they should have lost to Boston College and Clemson.
Exactly. They could have had that. LSU could have been their only win so far this season, realistically. I don't know I forget who else they played in between. Probably just a random team. I'm shocked that you picked Hotty Toddy. I am shocked that you picked Hotty Toddy.
Am I rattling you right now?
I am, because this concerns me. You want to know why? Because this is giving me one of our NFL games for tomorrow. Vibes. The Mistake by the Lake and Public Enemy #1 face-off in the NFL. And I don't know where to go with this. Lane Kiffin, can you do it, man? Can you do it? Can you do something for me?
It's just this number, dude. It's way too close. It's way too close. That's the one thing is, I can't.
You can't see LSU dominating
shake myself off this number at 2.5. Like if it was LSU minus 6.5 or minus 5.5, like I think at that point maybe I lean more towards LSU because I could expect a bigger number, right? But this number being so small, 2.5 points, are you kidding me? Almost all day.
I don't have a gut feeling on this one. I got to throw it to the wind. Can I have faith in my guys? Should I have faith in my guys?
It sounds like you don't. That's the thing.
I don't. I really don't. They've disappointed me time after time after time.
Take LSU.
The only time Ole Miss has helped me is in an unfortunate game where they probably should have lost if Michael Pratt was healthy against Tulane. That's where we pulled through. Make me happy and hurt me. I'm going to take the Tigers.
Wow. Wow. Okay. That's going against your boys here.
I am.
If Ole Miss wins or covers the spread, if they cover the spread, I don't think it'll be as bad, but if they win, You're going to be kicking yourself on Saturday.
will.
You're
I
gonna
will
kicking
be.
yourself on Saturday.
I will be. And you want to know what? I'm supposed to be painting my sister's house all day Saturday, so I'm just gonna be punching the wall.
You might need to
Throwing
get that
paint,
wall fixed.
Exactly. Gonna have to
Call the carpenter.
spackle it back up,
Yeah.
paint over it, kick through it again, just on repeat all day. Whatever. It's behind me. On to game 4. Notre Dame, after that unfortunate loss to Ohio State at home,
Go Bucks.
heads to North Carolina and faces off a really interesting Duke team that's maybe not being talked about enough right now. They had
opening night win against Clemson. Mike Elko, he's done a really nice job, and that Duke defense is legit. Second in the country in opponent yards, or opponent passing yards allowed per attempt, and pretty stout against the run too. Only 3.8 allowed yards per carry. Duke is legit, dude, and they're at home in this game. It could be an upset special, but the public likes Notre Dame. 67% of the bets on the spread are on Notre Dame per the Action Network. Heartbreaking loss last week. We all saw it. Do they make the statement this week? Do they bounce back? Does Sam Hartman prove that he is still that guy? Does Marcus Freeman fix the 10-man issue? At the end of the day, I think, yes, I'm taking the Irish here. I think this is a good bounce back spot. While the public is on Notre Dame, and while I'm riding with the public on this one, I think that Duke, while being a solid football team, is getting a Notre Dame team that is inspired, that is going to be hungry, and that is not going to let off of the gas. They are going to keep pounding and pounding and pounding. Give me Notre Dame. It's just 5.5 is a scary number. I don't like this number at all, but I think Notre Dame is in a really good spot to win this one big. So I'm going to take the Irish.
So far this season, Notre Dame's 4-1 straight up, 3-1-1 against the spread, which has been an interesting factor for them. I was coming into this week looking at this game, and I'm like, last time they had a little battle in North Carolina, it was a monsoon. You were disappointed.
Yeah.
Because NC State couldn't pull it through. I agree. They might be coming into this game with a little bit of a chip because they made some mistakes and they couldn't get it done when it mattered most. Because a team like Notre Dame, who is independent, even though they should be big chilling in the ACC conference.
Yeah.
They should be for
they
years.
Should be in the Big Ten.
Yes, location-wise, yes. But the fact that all their teams are playing the ACC, but the football team can do whatever they want is very interesting to me.
It's tradition.
BYU is a tradition for them.
So dumb.
I'll tell you, I had my eyes on Duke all week. I was looking at the defense, what they did to Clemson. The quarterback situation, they've been playing pretty steady ball. Duke hasn't started 5-0 since 1994.
I don't think it happens.
It does not happen often. And you want to know what? And you want to know what's crazy? The only other time before that they had that start off, Steve Spurrier was a guy to theirs back in '88.
That's how long it's been. That's how long it's been.
So long since this Blue Devils football team has been that successful and that good. Can they upset Notre Dame going potentially into October undefeated? I don't know. Because Notre Dame is the better football team. They have that edge that they need, especially for this game. And they don't have, I guess they don't have a ton to play for, but they still have a good season to play for. You know, because Notre Dame's not going to have enough games where they can be like, hey, this is what's going to prove us that we can be in the title shot still. And they don't have a championship game, you know, to benefit them any form. So I like Duke in this game, but I'm still going to stick with the Irish in this one too.
Think they cover the spread?
I do.
All right.
I think they cover. I think it's going to be a close game though. I think Duke will give them some stress early on, but I think Notre Dame's just toughness and their bounce back ability, they'll be able to pull away in the end.
All right, so I guess we got them all down now. It really felt like you were leaning Duke there.
I was all week,
And the
but
way
I'm like,
you're saying it's going to be a close game, I don't know, but I respect the Irish pick, obviously, because I'm on it as well. So let's run it down here. In our first matchup, Kentucky, Florida. I am on the Wildcats. Justin is on the Gators. Kentucky favored by 1.5. In our second game, Texas, Kansas, in Austin, Texas. I'm on the Longhorns minus 16.5. Justin is on the Longhorns minus 16.5. We love our horns. Not really. I don't, but it's fine. I love them in this game.
we picked them for the Big 12 championship.
That's true. LSU travels to Mississippi, taking on the Rebels. I'm on Mississippi plus 2.5. Justin is on the Tigers minus 2.5. Disgusting. He has no class. He has no self-respect, and he is a fraud. If Ole Miss wins this game, it's on him.
It's on my. Thank goodness they won. It's about time. That'd be my statement. I have to pick against you for you to win? Come on.
Yeah.
Then I was just going to pick Ole Miss every time I don't.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Whatever, man.
That's right. And then our last game, Notre Dame heads to Durham, correct? Durham? Maybe.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Not Chapel Hill.
Duke plus 5.5. Justin almost on Duke, but he
Psych!
pulled the rug out underneath us. He's on the Irish minus 5.5. And I, shockingly, after the Go Bucks, am on the Irish minus 5.5.
That's because there's no Bucks.
No Bucks this week. Well, actually, do they play? Do they have a bye? It doesn't matter.
No, they play this week.
Oh, I don't even care. Last week was just pure bliss for me. Just amazing. Was so happy. We're on the Irish, though.
Here come the Irish. Here come the Irish.
I cannot believe you have zero self-respect to take your Ole Miss Rebels. This is your team.
Dude, I can't.
In the biggest game in the Grove in years.
And
Taking on LSU.
They're not going to do it, man. They're not going to do it. Ohio State is on a bye week this week.
See? I didn't think they played.
Michigan and Penn State only ranked Big Ten teams playing.
Well, that's typical.
All right. And that, my friends, was...
That's it.
I don't know how this week's going to turn out. I feel like Evan's like, I'll lose everything as long as the Rebels win.
If I can come in here next week with a Rebels win, just to rub it in your face, and everything else fails, Kentucky loses. Texas, I'm talking about against the spread. Texas loses. Kentucky loses. Notre Dame loses. If Ole Miss wins this game, and if they cover that spread in the process, oh, you're hearing it. You're hearing it from me. Big time.
I don't got a hottie toddy helmet, do I? Maybe I need to get one.
You can't get one if you're not picking them. You gotta back your boys.
Don't tell me, man. Don't talk to me. You can't say anything all season, man. You can't.
It's a much different story. This is not the same thing. I'm very critical of my Spartan dogs, because I'm a fan and I'm an alum. I deserve to be critical of my school. And when they suck, I'm going to let them know that they suck.
But you have no right to jump ship in one of the worst ways.
It's just temporary. Don't worry.
Yeah, but get out of here with that.
I'm becoming the villain. I'm a menace now. You're going to have to deal with me all season long. I'm a Buckeye menace. Go Bucks.
You and Trevor, man. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. I'm done with this, man. Peace.